Hey everybody, thank you for joining. Today I'm going to talk about two things that have come out of the Supreme Court this week. The first one I want to talk about is the decision that they released today, basically overturning Roe versus Wade. Things to know: there's 13 states with so-called trigger laws in this country, and what that means is that they have laws to varying degrees that either take effect immediately or take time or need to be still have some process to go through. But as soon as Roe v. Wade was overturned, these states already had laws on the books basically to further outlaw abortion. So to be clear, the Supreme Court has not outlawed abortion. What the Supreme Court has said is that there is no right to an abortion. Therefore, it's something that the states can decide. And that means, again, there's 13 states with trigger laws and 26 states that are all expected to move pretty quickly to ban abortion, to make abortion illegal. So there's 3 states that effective today, abortion became illegal. That's Kentucky, Louisiana, and South Dakota. In the next 30 days, Idaho, Tennessee, and Texas will all also make abortion illegal, although I thought Texas was pretty close to that. And the following states have some form of legislative process that they need to go through, but basically they will be banning abortion as well, and those states are Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Utah, and Wyoming. So guys, that's a full... It's actually a little bit more than 25% of the states in the union have basically just been waiting to outlaw abortion. So 25% of the states are already there. The Guttmacher Institute, which I won't go too deep into, but they are a big advocacy group and think tank and analytics group in favor of abortion. They release a lot of statistics. They classify 26, so more than 50%, more than half of the country, they expect to make very quick choices to further ban abortion. Interesting, though I don't know the details. I've not had a chance to read through the decision myself. I believe Justice Thomas, and I'm going to have stuff up on the screen here, but I believe Justice Thomas wrote in his own opinion against Roe v. Wade. So he wrote that there are other cases, I won't even try to name the names, but other cases in a similar vein that need to be reevaluated. That is, the first case is Griswold versus Connecticut. This case determined that married couples have a right to privacy, and therefore the state cannot make it illegal to use contraceptives. The second is Lawrence versus Texas. This case made it illegal to prosecute sodomy or homosexual behavior. And the last one protects the right for same-sex couples to marry. But it's important to remember that these things that the Supreme Court protects, what are they protecting them from? They are protecting them from the states. And so certainly with Roe v. Wade, so I guess that's all I'll talk about because I don't know about the others. These states have the opportunity for the first time in, since 73, what is that, 50 years? For the first time, they have the ability to outlaw, ban, or severely restrict, and to some, I imagine they will be allowed to criminalize. But this is the first time that the states have been able to do that since Roe v. Wade, since that Roe Wade opinion back in 73. So this is going to change a lot of things. I expect this is going to be the number one issue being discussed for this coming up primary season and then the presidential election. I don't really know what is going to top this in terms of, polarizing people on where they stand, because I, like the Guttmacher Institute, I would expect more states are going to move to take action. We're going to have some of our states, I'm looking at you, Florida, I'm looking at Texas, I would expect those states to take it a step further. If somebody's going to criminalize abortion, I would expect it's not going to be California. It's not going to be New York. On New York, let's move to the second issue that the Supreme Court touched on this week. They did several things. There's been several rulings come out, but the Roe Wade abortion case and this next one, in New York, if you wanted to receive a concealed carry permit for your firearm, you had to prove to them that you had a good reason, right? You had to explain to them why you think you should be able to carry this gun concealed when nobody else is. And what the Supreme Court ruled is that the Second Amendment is not a contingent right. It's not something that you earn. It's not something that can be decided. And the logic, at least from what I understand, is that because this is in the Bill of Rights, it has to be treated like other Bill of Rights, right? You don't gain freedom of speech after you prove to the government that you have a good reason to use it. You don't gain the right to not self-incriminate after you prove to the government that you have a good reason to use that right. And the same, according to this ruling, this opinion, is now true of the Second Amendment. And what that means, it doesn't change a lot of laws. All it really does is states that are what are called may issue. So New York is a state that may issue you a concealed carry permit. I believe basically they all have just become shall issue. So you may still have to go get a permit, right? This isn't going to change the laws, except it is going to remove the state's ability to make a prior decision about whether or not you should have the right to conceal carry, and I imagine it will extend to other things. This one I don't expect to be as big a hot button issue because it doesn't change a lot. It doesn't make guns easier to get, doesn't make them cheaper, doesn't lower the severity of any criminal punishments for crimes committed in possession of a firearm. All it does is it says that you don't have to prove to the state that you have a good reason to conceal carry. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Keep those cards and letters coming.